In Russia, the elixir of health and youth has been found. Who will be able to use it? Today, we're going to talk about a very unusual approach that, in fact, challenges everything we have believed about longevity. What if the answer lies not in adding something new to the human body, but in restoring its lost functions and abilities? All those who look for a mechanism for life extension believe that our body constantly requires doping in the form of hundreds of types of dietary supplements, biostimulators, and medicines. But what if the body is quite an adequate and already super perfect system that simply needs to be returned to its original state? Return to its initial settings. And this is the main idea. It is not about healing, but about restoring our main resource, our own body. The goal is to return the body to a state in which it will be able to do everything on its own without any external supplements. On the one hand, the principles of this method are very simple, and on the other, they are revolutionary. The body is an absolute and perfect system. It knows what it needs. This is a real systemic revolution. Imagine that somewhere in remote Siberia, far from civilization, there is the Academy of Regenerative Medicine. The academy is located in Talica, in the Urals, far from civilization, or where ideal conditions for rejuvenation and regeneration have been created. There they claim that they found long ago what humanity has been striving for over thousands of years, a real elixir of health and youth, and made the most important discovery in human history. They devoted years of their lives to searching for a way to prolong human life. With God's help, they managed to solve the mystery that for centuries had been called the elixir of health and youth, living water, the cure for all diseases. Only a few people per year are accepted there to prolong the lives of worthy and chosen individuals. Just think about it. Giant corporations and entire scientific institutions are working on this problem, and against this background, a small organization appears, without any support, which declares, "We have already created everything." More than $8 billion a year are spent worldwide on the development of life extension treatments. At the Academy, without any financial support, they have managed to achieve more than all the scientists of the world combined. For many years, they searched for a way to maximize lifespan. They came to a fundamental understanding. People do not die from old age as such, but from a combination of diseases and factors incompatible with further existence. It became clear that a single mixture or pill would not be enough here. A comprehensive approach is needed, eliminating many causes and consequences. As a result of many years of diligent scientific and practical work, the method of integrated health improvement, regeneration, rejuvenation, and restoration of the reserve capacity of the human body was developed and implemented at the Academy. The method can be used for health improvement, regeneration, and rejuvenation of the body, restoration of the reserve capacity of the human body, and achievement of the highest sport, results by athletes in sanatoriums, health resorts, healthcare facilities. What is this method? It is real rejuvenation. It is the activation of the reserve capacity of the human body and the regeneration of organs at the cellular level. The method is capable of rejuvenating the body, helping people with the most severe and genetic diseases, helping even those who need organ transplants without surgical intervention by restoring their own organs, stopping the aging process, restoring previously lost human functions. The method includes more than 50 treatment techniques, which are applied in a strictly defined sequence and dosages, and it has already been successfully working for 15 years. Well, this sounds like science fiction, officially, but the responsibility that stands behind it is simply revolutionary. It is not just about becoming healthier, it is about organ regeneration without surgical intervention, and about life that can last. Just imagine 150, and possibly even up to 200 years. What can be done at the Academy? By using simple methods such as those used in SPA centers, it can, without exaggeration, be called a revolution in the life of humanity. And thus, the method can be called the elixir of health and youth, which people have been seeking for thousands of years. This method is possibly the best in the world in terms of the combination of simplicity, accessibility, harmlessness, and super effectiveness in providing maximum assistance in life extension, rejuvenation, health improvement, and health prevention. This is not treatment at all, but self-recovery, self-regeneration, self-regulation of all life processes, an ideal system, and not a temporary treatment of symptoms. At the Academy, they managed to develop an ideal and universal comprehensive method of restoring the body, after which there is no need to take any medications or dietary supplements. The body itself restores the ability to take all the elements necessary for its functioning in the required amount from food, air, and water. Imagine, after completing the regeneration course, a person does not follow any diets and eats only what he or she wants. This is not fantasy, but the reality of the method. And what is the most important thing? The necessary goal is complete biological autonomy. The human body is so well designed that it absorbs everything it needs from simple food, water, and air. It no longer needs dietary supplements, pills, tests, or other remedies. And this, in comparison with completely new trends, is a revolution. At the Academy, it was proven that any long-term supplementation, even with the most necessary elements from outside sources, leads over time to the shutdown of the body's functions for the independent production of vitamins, hormones, and microelements. The thoughtless use of artificial biosupplements, vitamins, medicines, dietary supplements, which will never be the same as those produced and absorbed by the human body itself, sooner or later leads to overdose, poisoning, and ultimately to a malfunction of all organs and systems. Only the body itself is capable of correctly taking, transforming, and eliminating everything it needs. A vivid example, Brian Johnson, a billionaire founder of a company studying the brain and life extension, takes up to 100 dietary supplements daily and is under constant medical supervision. Such an approach will not only fail to significantly extend his life, but may even shorten it due to the abuse of substances that the body does not need in such quantities and forms. And this, in essence, brings us to the fundamental merging of two worlds, two long-standing philosophies. On the one hand, billionaire Brian Johnson, about 100 dietary supplements a day, constant doctor monitoring, tests, data collection, and processing. On the other hand, the Academy in Syberia, after which there are 0 diseases, 0 doctors, 0 pills, 0 medicines, and 0 dietary supplements. In one case, the body is viewed as a car that requires constant repair and upgrading. In the other, it's viewed as an absolutely perfect system that simply needs to be put in order. It's just like night and day. How does the method work? The integrated method is a lengthy process requiring highly qualified staff and the client's patience, an individual approach, and extensive knowledge in harmonizing soul and body. Cleansing and strengthening. Simple natural methods eliminate all possible types of infections, viruses, bacteria, fungi, parasites. The functioning of all cells improves, making them stronger and healthier. The immune and lymphatic systems are stimulated, increasing their effectiveness several times compared to a healthy person. Selective removal of diseased cells. With the help of a combination of natural remedies and procedures, detox cleansing, all old, diseased, infected, genetically altered, and cancerous cells are safely removed from the body without damaging healthy ones. Unique conditions are created for the safe removal of a large number of cells, stimulation, and regeneration. Then the functioning of the remaining healthy cells is improved to ensure their proper and accelerated division. Special methods are used to stimulate the body to replenish lost cells. Its own stem cells are stimulated, especially for the restoration of severely damaged organs. Mechanisms for accelerated cell division are activated. The key result is not scars, but new life. The most important point is that instead of the removed cells, scar tissue is not formed as it usually happens in life, but normal, viable cells are restored. Even old scar tissue is replaced with normal cells. This sounds incredible, but this is how the method really works. By maximally replacing old cells with new ones throughout the body, a mechanism of self-healing from most existing diseases is created, aging process is halted, and regeneration and restoration of lost functions take place. Organs that needed replacement, transplantation, self-restore without surgery. A person regains a body consisting of young and healthy cells, as if being born again. One can repeatedly, hopelessly, and senselessly replace organs in an old sick body, as most billionaires and oligarchs do, or one can. With the help of this development, without surgeries, make the entire body completely healthy and young. Why doesn't the whole world know about this? Selection criteria. At the Academy, they deliberately do not strive for wide publicity and do not want mass implementation of their developments for many reasons. The Academy does not need funds to search for the secret to longevity. Everything has already been created and perfected to an ideal state. The selection of candidates for longevity, those who wish to prolong their lives, is carried out very selectively. Everyone has a chance, rich or poor, but it depends not on one's wallet, but on one's personality. The first question that is asked to a candidate at the Academy is, give weighty arguments that it is you who deserves to live long and happily. Who will be refused? Requirements for the candidate. Only kind and positive people are accepted without mental disorders and without bad habits, leading a healthy lifestyle. At ARM, they believe that even harmless smoking is slow, conscious suicide, and that healing with the aim of significantly prolonging the life of a potential suicide victim is meaningless. Key requirements. The meaning of life. The presence of a positive activity that a person is engaged in now and plans to be engaged in for many years. Without this condition, there is no reason to prolong life. Benefit to people. At the Academy, they believe that the right to a long and happy life is determined not by them, but by God. And not everyone has a chance, but only those who do good deeds, lead a healthy lifestyle, have long-term positive plans, bring and plan to bring benefit to people. Resources. The candidate must have enough free time for the procedures and financial means. Spiritual core. An understanding of a spiritual worldview. Harmony with higher powers, which must give consent. And help on the path to complete recovery and life extension, more than for all other ordinary people. Willpower and trial by the elements. A person must have strength, will, and willpower to undergo a trial by the 4 natural elements: fire, earth, air, water. It is necessary to overcome one's fears and prejudices, eliminate stress, learn to love both warmth and cold, nature, oneself, people, and one's work, to undergo a transformation of soul and body for a new life. This is not treatment, not healing. It is a full-fledged physical and spiritual journey into the future. Readiness for change. It may be necessary to significantly change one's lifestyle and nutrition. At what age should one start rejuvenation? It is possible at 60 and at 90 years old. The effect will be very good, but it must be understood that this method is not a magic wand which, once waved, will immediately make you 50 years younger, but rather many years of painstaking work. Using the method allows one to feel as a person felt in youth, and even change one's appearance, how it was 15 to 20 years ago. The basis of the method is to stop the aging process rather than return to childhood, as people would like. The earlier a person begins to use the regeneration method, the younger he or she will look. The most optimal age at which one should think about life extension is from 40 to 50 years, but at this age, no one even wants to think about health and longevity. Usually, the desire to live longer arises when a person receives a fatal and incurable diagnosis. Only then does the person begin to regret that he did so little for himself. Slowing of regeneration processes and health problems begin to manifest themselves in most people from the age of 40, but many people do not pay attention to them. If something hurts, they think that this is how it should be. If blood pressure fluctuates, they think that this is how it should be. If after eating some food, they feel bad, they stop consuming this food, and so on. But there are diseases in which, for example, the function of one finger worsens. A person thinks that this is nothing, whereas in fact, at that moment, up to 80% of the nerve cells in the entire body are irreversibly affected. One should not wait until the organs gradually stop working, but should in due time stimulate the body to constant, stable, proper functioning. For health improvement, disease prevention, for those who wish to live long and be constantly healthy, special SPA programs for preventive health improvement and body cleansing from 3 to 30 days have been created at ARM. And for a rejuvenating, regenerative effect and health improvement from severely neglected health problems, regeneration courses start from 30 days and more. Ethical filter for those who wish. These unique developments must not fall into the hands of people who bring harm to others, to society, or nature. At ARM, they are convinced by extending the life of a bad person, you give him a chance to commit evil deeds for a long time, and you become an indirect accomplice to his future actions, whether good or bad. Regenerative technologies are a huge moral responsibility. If you extend the life of bad people, you become an accomplice to everything that these people will do in their subsequent years. We must not allow this technology to fall into the wrong hands and be used by bad people. It is no longer a question of whether it is possible to live longer, but whether a particular person deserves it. And the main task is this: to present convincing arguments in favor of the fact that it is you who deserve a long and happy life. This, you know, eloquently speaks of the highest level of exclusivity. Anticipating your question as to why Syberia, the Urals, were chosen specifically for life extension. A special addition to health is Siberian air. It is a free, genuine gift of nature, filled with primordial power and centuries-old mysteries of the taiga expanses. It is like a living elixir in which the aromas of centuries-old forests, mountain rivers, and untouched meadows are interwoven. It is a journey into the heart of wild nature. In it one can feel the tart freshness of coniferous forest and the light bitterness of pine, the cool shade of fir, the delicate sweetness of wild grasses, the barely perceptible aroma of berry shrubs, notes of lingonberry, blueberry, and honeysuckle, the freshness of taiga moss and lichens, creating a sensation of damp, saturated life. The healing power of trees that radiate the healing energy of Siberian air has been proven for centuries. Thanks to phytoncides released by coniferous trees, it cleanses the respiratory tract, alleviating the condition in bronchitis and asthma, strengthens the immune system, increasing the body's resistance to infections, normalizes the functioning of the nervous system, relieves stress, improves sleep, gives a feeling of serenity, stimulates blood circulation, and saturates the blood with oxygen, increasing vitality, possesses antimicrobial properties, suppressing the growth of pathogenic bacteria. Resinous vapors of coniferous forests act as a natural antiseptic, and essential oils of needles have a mild anti-inflammatory effect. To breathe Siberian air means to absorb the energy of thousand-year-old forests, to feel a connection with pristine nature, and to be filled with its life-giving power. This is not just air, it is the breath of Syberia itself, granting health, clarity of mind, and harmony between nature, soul, and body. Modern medicine is not capable of synthesizing a pill called nature that would complement the integrated effect on the processes of body regeneration, enhance restorative functions, restore strength, cleanse the body, and give energy, provide so many positive effects for improving human health. There are many countries across the world, but there are only a few ones where nature itself can complement health improvement with the goal of human body regeneration, where it would be possible to set up a body regeneration center. Why should one live long then? And it is quite possible that the answer to this question contains the same main secret of longevity.